Alright, so we're going to use the same sort of idea that we've been talking about to measure rates of increase and rates of decrease. And it's going to be a slightly different application, but the same basic principle is going to apply as we've talked about using our formula to answer certain kinds of questions. But let's consider these particular kinds of questions. Let's suppose that Best Buy has a TV that is priced at a certain dollar amount, say $1,000, and that it raises the price from $1,000 to $1,200. How big a percent increase is that increase in price from $1,000 to $1,200? Or let's consider Walmart, the largest corporation in the U.S. In 2018, Walmart had annual sales revenue of about $500 billion, which was more than the previous year when it had about $485 billion. So revenues increased from $485 billion to $500 billion. What percent increase in sales revenue is that? Or if we look at Walmart's profits, profits went from $13,643 million down to $9,862 million, or from $13 billion to about $9 billion. By what percent did Walmart's profits decrease? So these are the kinds of questions that we're going to address, and we can do it using our base rate percentage formula. And in particular, what we're going to see is that we're going to look at kinds of questions where we're going to solve for or try to find the rate. So we're going to know the base and the percentage, and we want to figure out what is the rate. And remember, the rate is going to be the sort of thing that's measured with a percentage sign, and the base and the percentage are going to be in the same amounts. It might be dollars in many cases, for example. And so we'll be able to use our formula and twist it around a little bit so that the rate is equal to the percentage divided by the base. Because the percentage and the base are going to be in the same units, we can actually do that division. So, without further ado, let's explain the process. It's a simple one. Really basically two steps involved. The first step is to find the difference between amounts. So if we look at our opening questions, what's the difference between the beginning price and the ending price? Or the difference between revenues in the first year and the revenues in the second year? Or the difference between profits in the first year and profits in the second year? So that difference is going to be the percentage amount. Remember, it's going to be a dollar amount in each of these cases, dollar of prices or revenues or profits. So we're going to find that, and then we're going to take that percentage and divide it by the original amount. And the original amount is the base. And the result will be the rate, which is going to have a percentage sign attached to it. So we're going to find the percentage, divide the percentage by the base, and we'll get then the result of the rate. So let's take a look at a couple of examples here of our opening questions. Best Buy raises the price from $1,000 to $1,200. How big a percent increase is that increase in price from $1,000 to $1,200? So the first step, find the percentage, the difference between the two amounts. So $1,200 minus $1,000. So we had a $200 difference. That's the percentage. Then we're going to divide the percentage by the base, the original price, which was $1,000. And so 200 divided by 1,000 is equal to 0.2. To make it a percentage, we'll move the decimal point 2 places to the right, add the percentage sign, and we get the rate of 20%. So this was a 20% increase in price going from $1,000 to $1,200. So you can see we're just using our formula, but this time we're setting it up so that the rate is equal to the percentage divided by the base. Right, let's consider another example. Let's consider the Walmart revenues example. And the Walmart revenues example is I'm sorry. The Walmart revenues example is if revenues increase from 485 billion to 500 billion, by what percent did they increase? And so again, we're going to follow that two-step process. The first step is to find the percentage, the difference between the two amounts. So that's going to be difference between 500 and 485, and that's actually 15, right? And then we're going to divide that by the original amount, divide that by the base, so 15 divided by 485, right? That was the amount in the first year, so that's the base. And doing the arithmetic, we get 0.03, move the decimal point 2 places to the right, we get 3.00%. Note that both the percentage and the base are dollar amounts. So it's possible to do the division. We can't divide things unless they are in the same units. So in this case, they're both dollars, both measured in the same units, so we can do the division. Our third example, profits decreased from 13,643 to 9,862. By what percent did profits decrease? So again, we're just going to do the same two-step calculation. And in fact, I'll sit here and twiddle my thumbs for a minute while you go ahead and do it, just to prove to yourself that you can, right? Okay, so what's the first step? The first step is to find the difference between the two amounts, right? So the 13,643 minus 9,862 is 3,781. That is the percentage amount. Okay. What are we going to do with that? We're going to divide that, right? That's the percentage. We're going to divide it by the base. What is the base? Okay, and the base is the 13,643. That was the first year. So 3,781 divided by 13,643, 0.277 or 27.7%. And again, percentage and the base are in the same units. They're both measured in dollars, so we can do the division. All right, so that's a pretty straightforward application, different way of using our base rate percentage formula. And it's really not anything different from the other kinds of problems that we've looked at. All right, so you'll have a chance to practice some of these in our homework and see some of them in our quiz and, of course, ultimately in our exam. But we'll be using this idea over and over and over again, the base rate percentage idea.